Cursed be the sickly forms that err from honest nature's rule. Cursed be the gold that gilds the straitened forehead of the fool. Well, 'tis well that I should bluster. Hadst thou less unworthy proved, would to God, for I had loved thee more than ever wife was loved. Am I mad that I should cherish that which bears but bitter fruit? I will pluck it from my bosom, though my heart be at the root. Never though my mortal summers to such length of years should come, as the many-wintered crow that leads the clanging rookery home, where is comfort, in division of the records of the mind, can I part her from herself and love her as I knew her kind. I remember one that perished, sweetly did she speak and move, such a one do I remember, whom to look it was to love. Can I think of her as dead, and love her for the love she bore? No, she never loved me truly. Love is love for evermore. Comfort, comfort scorned of devils, this is truth the poet sings, that a sorrow's crown of sorrow is remembering happier things. Drug thy memories, lest thou learn it, lest thy heart be put to proof. Well, that sounds like it's generally bad advice. In the dead, unhappy night, and when the rain is on the roof, like a dog he hunts in dreams, and thou art staring at the wall, where the dying night lamp flickers, and the shadows rise and fall. Then a hand shall pass before thee, pointing to his drunken sleep, to thy widowed marriage pillows, to the tears that thou wilt weep. Thou shalt hear the never never whispered by the phantom years, and a song from out the distance in the ringing of thine ears. And an eye shall vex thee looking, ancient kindness, on thy pain. Turn thee on thy pillow, get thee to thy rest again. Nay, but nature brings thee solace, for a tender voice will cry, 'tis a purer life than thine, a lip to drain thy trouble dry. Baby lips will laugh me down, my latest rival brings thee rest. Baby fingers, waxen touches, press me from the mother's breast. Oh, the child, too close, the father, with a dearness not his due, half is thine and half is his, it will be worthy of the two. Oh, I see thee, old and formal, fitted to thy petty part, with a little hoard of maxims, preaching down a daughter's heart. They were dangerous, guides the feelings, she herself was not exempt. Truly she herself had suffered, perish in thy self-contempt. Overlive it, lower yet, be happy, wherefore should I care? I myself must mix with action, lest I wither by despair. What is that which I should turn to, lighting upon days like these? Every door is barred with gold, and opens but to golden keys. Every gate is thronged with suitors, all the markets overflow. I have but an angry fancy. What is that which I should do? I had been content to perish, falling on the foeman's ground, when the ranks are rolled in vapor, and the winds are laid with sound. But the jingling of the guinea helps the hurt that honor feels, and the nations do but murmur, snarling at each other's heels. Can I but relive in sadness, I will turn that earlier page, hide me from my deep emotion. O thou wondrous mother age, make me feel the wild pulsation that I felt before the strife, when I heard my days before me, and the tumult of my life, yearning for the large excitement that the coming years would yield. Eager-hearted as a boy, when first he leaves his father's field, and at night along the dusky highway, near and nearer drawn, sees in heaven the light of London flaring like a dreary dawn, and his spirit leaps within him to be gone before him then, underneath the light he looks at, and among the throngs of men. Men, my brothers, men the workers, ever reaping something new, that which they have done, but earnest of the things that they shall do. For I dipped into the future, far as human eye could see, saw the vision of the world, and all the wonder that would be. Saw the heavens fill with commerce, argosies of magic sails, pilots of the purple twilight, dropping down with costly bales. Heard the heavens fill with shouting, and their rain a ghastly dew, from the nations, airy navies, grappling in the central blue, far along the worldwide whisper of the south wind rushing warm, with the standards of the people plunging through the storm, till the war drum throbbed no longer and the battle flags were furled. In the parliament of man, the federation of the world, there the common sense of most shall hold a fretful realm in awe, and the kindly earth shall slumber, lapped in universal law. So I triumph ere my passion, sweeping through me, left me dry, left me with the palsied heart, and left me with the jaundiced eye to which all order festers, all things here are out of joint. Science moves, but slowly, slowly, creeping on from point to point. Slowly comes a hungry people, as a lion creeping nigher, glares at one that nods and winks behind a slowly dying fire. Yet I doubt not through the ages one increasing purpose runs, and the thoughts of men are widened with the process of the suns. What is that to him that reaps not harvest of his youthful joys? Though the deep heart of existence beat forever like a boy's, knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers, and I linger on the shore, and the individual withers, and the world is more and more. Knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers, and he bears a laden breast, full of sad experience, moving toward the stillness of his rest. Hearken, my merry comrades call me, sounding on the bugle horn, they to whom my foolish passion were a target for their scorn. Shall it not be scorn to me to harp on such a mouldering string? I am shamed through all my nature to have loved so slight a thing. Weakness to be wroth with weakness, woman's pleasure, woman's pain. Nature made them blinder motions, bounded in a shallower brain. Woman is the lesser man, and all thy passions matched with mine. Well, I'm not going to say people are inferior just because differences. What about their superiorities, right? Are as moonlight unto sunlight, and as water unto wine. Here at last, where nature sickens, nothing, for some retreat, deep in yonder shining orient, where my life began to beat, where in wild Maratha battle fell my father evil-starred. I was left a trampled orphan, and a selfish uncle's ward. Are to burst all links of habit, there to wander far away, on from island to island unto island, at the gateways of the day. Larger constellations burning, mellow moons and happy skies, breadths of tropic shade and palms, and cluster knots of paradise. Never comes the trader, never floats an European flag, slides the bird over lustrous woodland, swings the trailer from the crag, droops the heavy blossomed bower, hangs the heavy fruited tree, summer isles of Eden lying in dark purple spheres of sea. There, methinks, would be enjoyment more than in this march of mine, in the steamship, in the railway, in the thoughts that shake mankind. There the passions cramped no longer shall have scope and breathing space. I will take some savage woman, she shall rear my dusky race. Now, usually that way of speaking is used in a racist way, so I don't mean that. Somebody deep into their nature, hopefully. Iron jointed, supple sinewed, They shall dive and they shall run, catch the wild goat by the hair, and hurl their lances in the sun, whistle back the parrot's call, and leap the rainbows of the brooks, not with blinded eyesight poring over miserable brooks. Full again the dream, the fancy, but I know my words are wild. But I count the grey barbarian lower than the Christian child. Again, the second part of the prejudice that, for example, the Ku Klux Klan would have. Christian, white, so yeah, none of that. I to herd, with narrow forehead, vacant of our glorious gangs, like a beast with lower pleasures, like a beast with lower pains, mated with the squalid savage, what to me were sun or clime, I the heir of all the ages in the foremost files of time, I that rather held it better, men should perish one by one, than that earth shall stand at gaze like Joshua's moon and Ajalon. Well, weren't those people North African and, blacker than a lot of blacks in the West? I mean, people called black were blacker back then, but because there wasn't the integration. But not in vain the distant beacons. Forward, forward let us range. Let the great world spin forever down the ringing grooves of change. Through the shadow of the globe, we sweep into the younger day. Better 50 years of Europe than a cycle of Cathay. See, that's the third part of the Ku Klux Klan prejudice, is the whole nationality thing. Is like, no, I'm not going to say that somebody's better because of a mere title of religion, of a mere title of nationality, or, their racial background. What is their behavior? What is their real belief? It's like some people say, well, my opinions, I'm Christian. It's like, well, yeah, that means a lot more. There's a lot more variety in that than you think, Mother age, for mine I knew not, help me as when life begun. Rift the hills and roll the waters, flash the lightnings, weigh the sun. Oh, I see the crescent promise of my spirit hath not set. Ancient founts of inspiration, while through all my fancy yet. Howsoever these things be, a long farewell to Locksley Hall. Now for me the woods may wither, now for me the roof tree fall. Comes a vapor from the margin, blackening over heath and holt, criming all the blasts before it. In its breast a thunderbolt. Let it fall on Locksley Hall with rain or hail, or fire or snow. For the mighty wind arises, roaring seaward, and I go. And so what will you appreciate and what will you show? Around the gables, gleams, including, okay. What eye with clear account remarks the ebbing of his glass, and all its sands are diamond sparks that dazzle as they pass. And there, Thomas Pringle said something like, the night was extremely dark, and the rain fell so heavily that in despite of the abundant supply of dry firewood which we had luckily provided, it was not without difficulty that we could keep one watch-fire burning. About midnight we were suddenly roused by a roar of a lion close to our tents. It was so loud and tremendous that for the moment I actually thought of a thunderstorm had burst upon us. We roused the half-extinguished fire to a roaring blaze. This unwonted display probably daunted our grim visitor, for he gave us no further trouble that night. And another forgotten line. Well, I mean, something in manuscript, not another. All about a summer ocean, leagues on leagues of golden calm, and with melodious waters rolling round the knolls a palm. Lo, a fresh cloud of dust is near, which carries in its breast thunderbolts. Sort of disjointed variations, right?